Hi everyone! Welcome to my 51st episode of Show Me How It's Done. I'm your host, Lauren Urbonis with Lauren's Scraplot, and I'm in Canada, so if you're up here, then you can shop with me at laurenurbonis.stampinup.net, and then you can participate in some of my monthly classes and whatnot. But if you're anywhere else, I hope you just enjoy this video. If you need help finding any of the products, do feel free to touch base, and I'm happy to try and help you connect with somebody who's in your region. But I will post all the measurements and the materials in the comments or the description on my YouTube video. So you don't have to write everything down, but if you want to follow along, I will give you all the measurements as we go and show you the product that we're using today. So as you can see, I have chosen to use the Tidings of Christmas Suite today. So there's lots of fun ideas in the catalog, but what I'm featuring is some of the dies, one of the sentiments, and we're going to make this really, really cute gift card holder card because of course the holidays are coming and you may want to just add a little $5 Tim Hortons card or Starbucks card or something in there for somebody to use. So the bundle that I'm using is actually found in the main catalog, which is really weird because usually when we think Christmas, we automatically go to the holiday catalog and we kind of forget that Stampin' Up! Has hidden a few gems in the big catalog here. So there are a stamp set, there's some dies, there's some great paper, all part of this amazing suite. And the reason I have my catalog open is because I have to show you this price. So for this bundle, it's only $54.75, and I have no idea how that works because bundles of the same size or similar size and detail are going for $60, $70 in our holiday catalog or even in the rest of this catalog. So this one is kind of that hidden gem of a bundle that's really, really affordable. You could pay the $78.75 and get the paper included for the price of some of our other bundles out there. So I don't know about you, but I love bundles that I can see so much potential in. There's not only stamps that I can use for projects, there's sentiments that go all over, and then there's also some fine detail dies that are great for the background work that we want to do today, and also some other fun features. So just a little tip, make sure to look at prices because you can find some really good deals, and this one probably won't be selling out because of the fact that it's been available for a while. So unlike some of our other holiday sets, which go on back order or the paper runs out because people are kind of all of a sudden using it right now, this one stands a really good chance of being in stock if you still need to order something for the holidays. Okay, so let me teach you how to make this project. Okay, so as I showed you, it's kind of got some fun little folds, some different features for us to work with here. So we're going to start with this base piece in the back, okay? So that is a piece of soft succulent. I have cut it at 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and we're going to need to put a score mark at 2 3/4. Okay, that's it. You can go ahead right now and fold it into place so that it's ready to go. And this will be this background piece that kind of opens and has the gift card featured to it. Now, because we've got our scoreboard out, let's go ahead and score the next piece. So this is also soft succulent because it works with every single pattern in this DSP package. So this one is 3 1/2 by 8 1/4. And we're putting a score mark at 4 1/8. Okay, so that's find the 4, find the tick mark next to it. That's 1/8. Okay, and go ahead and fold this guy into place. So now we're going to just work on these one at a time. I'm going to bring back my base. this one here, okay? And we're gonna do a little decorating with some pieces of designer series paper, and I'll show you kind of how I've picked those for my project. So I'm gonna make a different color scheme than the one that I have showed for you here. I chose a piece that had kind of some red in it instead. So this large piece, this is going, you know, in the back as our focal piece. So I've got my large space to the left of my workspace, and to the right is this little tab that we're going to make into the gift card holder. So this piece right here measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to grab some adhesive. I just use tape. You can use seal or anything you like, but attach that to our card base. Right here. Okay. And that gets just attached to the back of your card. This one, this paper is directional, so make sure you're not putting it on upside down because that would make you sad. Some of the patterns, it doesn't matter whether you put them up or down, but make sure you're facing this one the correct way, like so. And now, if you want to turn this into a gift card holder, you'll need a piece of designer paper that is 1.5 inches by 4 1/8. Okay, so if you don't want this to be a gift card holder, it is still a stunning card. You would just leave this panel green and not do anything to it. You still have spaces to write. It'd still be a really fun fold card. If you want the gift card feature, this is the piece you need. I like to have a little notch in it so that I have a way to kind of get the gift card out. Now, we don't have a lot of circle punches anymore, but lots of us have them in the collections, or we do have circle dies. So all you do is take the edge of one of your circles from anywhere and just make a little notch so that you now have a space for your finger to kind of get that gift card a little bit. So when you put adhesive on this guy though, the key is not to cover the entire back because we want a gift card to slip in there. So this is also why I notch it, because then I know which side is the front. I'm going to take my tape and I'm only going on the back of the piece and then on the 2 sides as close to the edge as possible, okay? Because we want that gift card to have as much room as we can to fit it on there. So I only have adhesive on the sides, and on the bottom, nothing in this middle space. Otherwise, your gift card will not fit. Okay, and then this piece, I have made it the exact same length as our paper, so it should go right along the edges. And then if for some reason you have a little bit extra, that's okay. Just trim it off. There. Okay, so there's your gift card section. And I made these 2 colors match just because I thought it was fun. So let's grab you a gift card. If you've got a gift card here, then you just tuck it right in there, like so. Now to make the other part of our card, that would be this part. I guess we can decorate here. So because I'm having fun playing around with things, I decided, hey, I'm gonna use a different color of paper and just see how it works. So I could either use the kind of crumb cake feel of this one, or I could go a little bit greenery. So it doesn't really matter whichever way you're feeling. I think maybe I'll try the crumb cake. Blends very nicely with the red there. And this piece here is 2.5 inches by 4 inches. If you're wanting to cut that piece for yourself. That goes just on the front of this little panel right here. Okay, so my card base is great. I've got a back, I've got a gift card section, I've got an alternating color, which gives a very different perspective than this one where I've used the same color for both. But the nice thing about these papers is they all complement each other very nicely, and you can just mix and match however you want, especially once you're getting to the end of a project, because sometimes you've got, you know, one piece of this left and one piece of the other. So mix and match them. It'll be fun. Okay, so let's bring in this little guy. We're gonna build him before we worry about attaching all the decals and all that sort of stuff. So on the inside, we're gonna put 2 identical pieces of basic white cardstock. You will actually cut 3 of these pieces. We'll just be embossing 1. So while you're cutting, cut 3 pieces of white that are 3 1/4 by 3 7/8. 2 of them are going on the inside of our card so that you have something to write on. Again, not using any dimensionals right now. We're just using any sort of flat adhesive. Okay. There we go. And so sometimes you can just put 1 piece of white, but because it's such a tiny space, it is a little nicer to have the 2 panels because it gives you something more to write on, you know, instead of all just cramming it into this tiny little rectangle. But it's totally your choice. You can also leave off this piece right here. Okay, so here's the key. You need to make sure you're putting this together the right way. So I have, with my large piece, I've made sure that my flap is on the right. If you have switched things up at this point, your flap is on the left, you will have to do the opposite of what I'm doing here, okay? So my flap is on the right. This little booklet now, I want opening to the left because this one opens to the right. I want this one opening to the left. You want them opposite of each other. So just pause for a minute, make sure you've got everything right. On the front of my book that is opening to the left, I'm going to put my 3rd piece of basic white. I have embossed this one with the brick and mortar embossing folder. However, you could use the subtle textures. You could use any of like the stars and stripes, anything really that would just give you a subtle background look here. None of them are part of the suite per se, so you just kind of use whatever you have, whatever you're enjoying. So I use brick and mortar just because I thought the bricks were very cute. Okay, so now of my visible sides, you should have only 1 that is left unattached. So we're going to put adhesive on this, and that will be what attaches to our card. Okay. So now once your adhesive's off, this is the perfect time to make sure one last time that you have everything opening the correct way, because this would be very sad if, you know, right now I put this on and it was also opening to the right, because that doesn't give me the same effect. Make sure it's turned around, make sure it opens up to the left, and then you can put it down. Okay, so put it right in the middle of this space. You will have almost twice the amount of space on the left and right border as the top and bottom, but that's just because we wanted that nice rectangle look. Okay, so don't be alarmed, it's not an even border. I purposely made it this way. Okay, so this is nicely in the middle. You can open this up, tuck your flap in, and close. So that's how your card will open, is 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, to decorate, the world is your oyster, but I sent this out as a mystery stamping challenge to my team, and so I wanted them to be able to kind of do dies and then just add a simple sentiment when they needed to. Okay, so what I've done is from the set here, this is the Tidings and Trimmings set, I have taken the solid star and cut out Evening Evergreen. I've taken the detailed star and cut out a copper foil. I've taken the solid little star and done Cherry Cobbler. Taken the detailed little star and done copper foil. For this branch, you can choose any of these little detailed branches, but I liked the one kind of with the berries. So that one is also copper foil. And then of course our sentiment is from this set as well. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The only thing that's not from the set is this actual tag. So this is from the seasonal layers dies. And but you can use anything like that you have that's roughly the same size. If you have some of the stitched rectangles, if you have you know, any of our shapes and whatnot, just use what you have. Or you could even just cut out a rectangle, but I liked those dies, so that's what I'm going to use. So let's start attaching my pieces together. Glue will be a good way to do these detailed stars. You don't need to have it all over the star. Just find a couple bigger points. Add a couple dots of glue here and there, all over the place. Oh, doesn't want to come anymore. There we go. There. So it does not have to be all over. Just pick a couple points, throw that on. This will take a couple seconds to dry because it is the liquid glue. If you have the fine tip glue pen, that will work perfectly. You could also have cut these out with the sticky adhesive sheets on the back of them, turning them into a sticker. That would have been a great idea too. Okay, and then your little one, doing the same thing. I just ran out of those, so I didn't do it. Perfect. Okay, little star here. So now while these two are drying, this is a really good time for you to do your stamping on your sentiment, because then that way everything is ready to go in a minute here. My fingers are sticky, so it's pulling that off. Okay, so let that dry. Do your stamping. For this tag, if you're wondering, I use the Crumb Cake designer or cardstock, and then I did Misty Moonlight for my ink. So you can use white, you can use ivory, but I was just trying to do something a little different here. Okay, so I've got my star, it's all ready to go. I am going to put dimensionals on the back of the larger star here. And this one I'm putting at an angle, just kind of in the top left hand corner. So however you want to tilt it, totally up to you, but in the top left is perfect. Your red star is going to come next, but we're not putting it up on dimensionals. We want it to kind of tuck behind what the tag and the star are doing. And so it's just kind of a subtle little feature. So I'm putting just a little strip of tape on the back of it, and I'm going to tuck it underneath. You might bump into a dimensional there. So tuck it underneath one little side of your star. Now you have space for a sentiment, which also, if you didn't emboss this white, you could just stamp something straight into this space. But I wanted something fun. So I'm going to put my tag up on dimensionals, and I guess I need to make sure I'm not putting dimensionals on the part that's going over the star. So just on the bottom here is where I'll put So this little corner, because it's going to go on top of the star, I don't want it kind of tilting in a weird way. There we go. Oh, it's still bumpy. Don't need you. Here. Okay. So wherever you want. Just tuck that one. And this little guy here can get attached as well. So I found the easiest way to put him in was to just either grab a glue dot or put a little piece of tape on the bottom of his stem and just kind of tuck him under the star. You will have to navigate whatever dimensionals you have under there, but just stick that under. Okay, so this is cute all on its own, but if you wanted to add a little bit of bling, the rhinestones I would suggest for you are the champagne rhinestone basic jewels. But let's say you don't have them. You just have some plain silver basic rhinestones. What you can do is if you own any of our brown blends, so this is the bronze one for instance, but you could use the dark crumb cake or even cinnamon cider. You can take our blends, you can actually color the rhinestones and they'll turn this beautiful golden color. So you can use any color of rhinestone to make, you know, purple, red, green, blue, but that's why I always keep the basic rhinestones in stock because I can color them for anything that I need. So hopefully you can see the difference. It's very subtle, but it turns them into the champagne rhinestones for my project. Okay, and I'm just adding 3 of those. So on the tag, 2 down at the bottom here, and then 1 up by the stars. Okay, so there's the 2 that I've shown you already. And then I did do one of these cards last night with my team. And so this is a 3rd color combination that I did as well. But the possibilities are endless. You could just keep playing, and I actually kind of really like the 2-toned. I think I love this paper, so that's why I had to do the whole card with it. But I think it's kind of fun once you start flipping the pages around and actually giving your cards some character with them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you don't own this bundle, you could just pick any sort of designer paper you have in your stash and decorate it with any sort of embellishments and dies that you have in your collection too. But I thought it was a really perfect fold for the Christmas season. So there you go. I will see you guys next Tuesday, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Bye.